So the question is, can we rule them out in 4 hours even though we're accredited?
So you can. Now, the hospital policy, we had to come up with a system-wide hospital policy of how we're going to rule patients out because the Chest Pain Centers of America and the accreditation said that it's got to be system-wide the same. And so there were people on the floor that were doing Q8 hours times 3, 24-hour troponin rule out, which obviously you know that is way too long. And then there are people that push for, delta troponins at 90 minutes. So you have the opposite spectrums, and they're way vastly different. And so to get everybody on the same page, we had a debate, either a 4-hour rule out or a 6-hour rule out. The 4-hour rule out is probably adequate for all of our patients. I mean, there may be some subsets of patients where it may not be the best, but probably 4 hours is adequate with the troponins we're running. I pushed for 6, to be honest with you. I pushed it to 6 because we did a study a few years ago with our troponins, the point-of-care troponins that we're using now. And we had some people rule in at 6 hours. We were looking at 0, 3, 6, and 9 troponins, and we had some positive at 6, and they were negative at 3. Does that mean that they could have still been positive at 4? I don't know, but we had just a few, it was like 1.5% that were positive at 6 hours, which made me a little nervous to just say system-wide. We're going to say it's all 4 and maybe miss a few people. So we went conservative. We stayed at 6. The question you're really asking, though, is if the policy for the hospital says 6 and you do 4, is that okay? I think it's probably okay, but, if there was a bad outcome, you did 2 troponins 4 hours apart, sent them home. They came back for a stress test the next day, and it was floridly positive. That's probably not going to be a problem, okay? I mean, it's probably not a problem. There's probably not going to be any bad outcome. However, if there was a bad outcome and they came back and they said, hey, what is your policy? And you said 2 troponins 6 hours apart. Why didn't you follow that? You don't really have a great defense. So policies do cause you problems. Most things you'll find in medicine is if you put it down as your policy and you don't follow it, then you're going to have problems. If you never wrote it down as a policy, it's okay if you don't follow it. But now that we are standardized, we've kind of got it. We do have it written down as a policy.
And I think good documentation, and then like saying, I talked to the patient, they got to pick up their kids at 3 p.m. I know this is a 4-hour trope, but this is what I can do before they leave AMA. I think that's a solid chart. Where you say, look, I talked to them. They know that I prefer to keep them for a little bit longer or whatever, and I did this 4-hour trope. That's a much stronger chart than I just mysteriously put it in for 4, and I'm just skating on thin ice here. If something bad happens, they're going to point fingers at you.